Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to trace the 30-year journey of a really core idea in business, strategic human resource management. We're going to dig into the theory it's built on, and maybe more importantly, why understanding where it came from is absolutely crucial for any leader trying to build a winning team right now. So, let's dive in.
But let me start with a question for you. Just think for a second about your own company's approach to talent, to its people, to its culture. Do you think it's truly modern? Or is it maybe, just maybe, running on an operating system that was designed for a business world that just doesn't exist anymore? The answer might actually surprise you.
All right, so here's our roadmap. We're going to follow the life of this big idea, starting with its early identity crisis, then the big breakthrough that gave it a backbone. We'll look at the cracks that started to show, see how it holds up against today's insane challenges, and then peek at what the future of all this research might look like. Okay, so let's rewind the clock a bit. In its early days, strategic HR, or SHRM as we'll call it, was really struggling. I mean, the intentions were great, right? Link people to strategy. But it was missing a core guiding theory. It was seen as, well, a little bit soft. And this quote from back in 1989 just nails it. A field without theory. See, without that strong theoretical anchor, all the HR practices, hiring, training, you name it, they could feel kind of random, totally disconnected from the real goal, which is winning in the market. The field desperately needed a big idea to give it some real purpose and, frankly, some legitimacy.
And then, just when it needed it most, the big idea arrived. It was a concept borrowed from the world of strategic management, and it was about to completely reframe the entire conversation and give SHRM that backbone it was searching for.
This right here was the game changer, the resource-based view, or RBV. And listen, this wasn't just another model or another acronym. It was a fundamental shift in thinking that was about to put people right at the very center of corporate strategy.
So what's the big deal with the RBV? Well, the theory basically said that a true, lasting competitive advantage doesn't come from your products or your tech, because that stuff can be copied. It comes from a company's unique internal resources. And what's the most valuable, unique, and hardest to imitate resource of all? It's your people. All of a sudden, HR wasn't just about managing a cost on a spreadsheet. It was about cultivating the company's ultimate competitive weapon. But, here comes the twist in the story. Because while the resource-based view solved one huge problem, it actually created a whole new set of really complex tensions. These paradoxes that, honestly, leaders and HR pros are still wrestling with today. Let's break them down.
So the first tension is this classic case of, losing the plot. Researchers and companies got so obsessed with measuring HR practices, the performance reviews, the training programs, that they kind of forgot to measure what really mattered, the actual human capital those practices were supposed to be building in the first place. It's like judging a chef by how great the recipes look on paper without ever tasting the food.
Okay, next up, differentiation versus integration. You remember the whole war for talent, right? It pushed companies to create these elite tracks for their A players, special pay, special projects. But here's the risk, and it's a big one. When you focus so heavily on a few stars, you can end up alienating everybody else. And that damages the very culture of trust and collaboration that the whole company needs to actually succeed.
And that leads us to another core tension. For years, the holy grail was fit. The idea that you had to make sure your HR system was perfectly locked into your business strategy. But in a world of constant disruption, a perfectly rigid system is a fragile one. Today, the real advantage comes from flexibility, the ability to pivot, adapt, and evolve as the market just keeps changing.
And the final paradox is a classic: commitment versus control. For a long time, it seemed like commitment strategies, the ones that empower employees, were the only right way to go. But what the research shows is that the most effective organizations don't actually choose one or the other. They build a really smart blend of both high trust and clear rules.
So look, these aren't just dusty academic debates. These tensions are being stress-tested right now, in real time, by these massive external forces that are reshaping the entire world of work as we speak.
And I mean, just look at this storm of challenges. You've got the blistering pace of AI, which is forcing every company to rethink fit versus flexibility. You've got globalization, which tests our models of commitment versus control across totally different cultures. Growing skills gaps are forcing us to confront that differentiation versus integration question head-on. Every single one of these pressures is pulling on those old tensions, forcing leaders to make some really tough choices.
And if you want just one huge, concrete example of all this in action, look no further than the explosion of hybrid work. I mean, 81%. This isn't just a logistical change. It's a massive, real-world test of a company's ability to balance control with commitment, to create integration when people are physically separated, and to stay flexible when things are constantly changing.
So all of this complexity means the old simple models just aren't enough anymore. Researchers are now calling for a full-on revolution in how we think about strategic HR. They're demanding a much more sophisticated, nuanced view of how value actually gets created. And this bathtub model is such a cool way to visualize this new thinking. It shows that HR's impact isn't just a straight line. A company designs a practice, right? But then a manager implements it, maybe a little differently. Then an employee perceives it based on their own unique experiences. Those individual reactions and attitudes then bubble up, they emerge, and they combine to form the collective human capital. And that is what ultimately drives business results. It's a complex flow, not a simple on-off switch.
So we end right back where we started, with a question for you to think about. As a leader, it's so easy to get caught up in managing the practices, the systems, the policies, the programs. But the real challenge and the real opportunity for a massive competitive advantage is to focus on the outcome. Are you building the dynamic, flexible, and truly revolutionary human capital that's going to define the winners of tomorrow?